SequencerTalk, music gear, synthesizer and music production. And here are your hosts, the Moogulator and Dean Freud.
Aha. Okay, let's check this. Ding. We're here. Hello, everybody. We are the SequencerTalk. My name is Dean, and on my right side is Moogulator, and we have a special guest today. But before we talk about this, we hope you're all okay, and just a little bit housekeeping. Mick, are you okay? I'm fine.
Yeah. Welcome to SequencerTalk 163, which is this time in English because our guest will understand us then better than before because
he doesn't speak German, and he's from France, and his name is Romain, and here it is.
Hello, everybody.
So,
hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
After sorting out some strange internet problems on everybody's side, we finally managed this, and here we go.
Now it's working, and we hope it will continue like this during the live.
Great. So before we start with your new synthesizer, please, if you like to win something, we have a little raffle for our 4th birthday this month. So you can win prizes from XOR, from Arturia, from Black Panther Systems, Leaf Audio, Nitrolabs, Fred Labs, ICA Multimedia, Exploding Shed, and Dawson. And especially for our supporters, there is a chance to win a pair of Austrian Audio HX60 headphones. So please head on the link down in the description. For everybody here in Europe, you can participate. It's no problem. It's written in German, but you can translate this in other language with translator or something. So this is how we do it, and all the other links about Kiviak and our stuff, what we do, you also find links in the description. That's all the housekeeping today. Mick, it's your turn.
Romain is your name, and you are new in the synthesizer scene. You have already your synth with you. It's called WoFI, and you're not new to developing things, especially in the IT sector. But this time it's a nice, small, not so small. So you see it. Maybe because we are audio and video, I try to explain. It's about the size of an SH-101 or something. It's not totally small.
To be honest, I got an SH-101 here, and the WoFI is smaller. But I think I can introduce myself and maybe explain why we are doing this and why I'm here now. So my name is Romain Gianetti. I'm a French guy. I'm 40 years old, and I was working in IT for the last, and I still work in IT for 23 years. Okay, so my real job is in IT. Okay, I was an engineer, and then I was a CTO in a big French company managing cloud services and stuff. I was located in USA between 2015 and 2018. When we moved back with my family in France, I decided to start my own company named KIVIAK Technologies. But before, I think I have to explain. Before IT, I was a musician. and I play music since I'm 7 years old. Okay, so when I was a kid, I study piano, but we don't have a space in my house to have a real piano. So my parents bought me a keyboard. It was a Yamaha keyboard, like a small Yamaha keyboard to learn practicing. And it was the beginning of the story when I was 7 years old. And I think when I was 10, my dream was to have like a Korg M1 or DX7 and an Atari. That was my dream. And I think at 11, I got my first PC with Cakewalk and a very cheap sound card like Sound Blaster or something like that. And at this time, I was running an arranger, a Technics KN 400, and it was the beginning. And then at 14, I started playing guitars in metal bands. And because, when you're 14 years old, you think, no, since it's not good for rock and roll, I want to drink some beer, I want to play rock and roll, I want some girls, so that's why I have to play guitar. That's very important. Then, when I was 16, I discover like 9-inch nails. And my mind,
I see.
and
Good.
my mind, like,
Welcome
what?
to
We can,
our-
like, what? We can do this kind of music with synth, really? And it was the beginning of another story. And I start again to play keyboards. And at this time, it was like 1998. So I bought a lot of piece of hardware. And
You can see something, some of them of it behind you. There's quite a lot of stuff going on. There's modular. There's
we have modular SH101. We have like some 2000 stuff like MS 2000, Yamaha FS1R, the Waldorf Pulse. I have all the Mooger Fugger over there. I have KIVIAK-sampler, Sherman filter bank. On the other side, you have a mini Moog, and I have a complete rack of. I can show you. Okay. I have a lot of vintage stuff too. That's why.
Yeah, you sit in front of a very big mixing console.
Yeah,
you told me.
Yes, we have a Slate console, like the Raven, with a tactile screen and all the thing. It's I built this studio 2 years ago, and the goal was to make this kind of event. And the goal of this studio, the studio is owned by Kiviak. I will explain after that maybe. But I built this studio to make this kind of event, like live stream, and to have a place to test our product, because we start the development of Kiviak Instruments 3 years ago in 2020, just before the COVID. And but I have to explain. When I was a teenager, I was very passionate about music. It was my life from 7 to 22. I study audio engineering at the ACE in Paris. And the goal for me was to be a professional musician or sound engineer. But when I was 22, the music industry was in the down. Like no work at all in France. It was crazy, nothing to do. So when I was studying, I was working in IT to have some money to pay my sins. So I chose, when I was 22, I chose to continue the music as a hobby and do some IT to pay the bills. But 20 years after, like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was in USA, for a totally random reason, I have visited the Moog factory in Nashville. And I say, okay, like one of the most important brand in this industry, it's only 90 people company owned by the employees. Okay. And something was in
It
my head.
clicked.
Yeah. And when I moved back to France, we start with my brother to buying some modules and doing some Eurorack. And I say, okay, there is some Eurorack companies with only 1 people or 2 people. Okay, so maybe it's okay to start a new company to building some things. And I was speaking with a friend of mine about the Casio SK1. This one, okay. I was speaking with a friend of mine because I'm in love with this one, and I'm using it all the time. And we were speaking, and we say, "Oh, that's weird that nobody's have start a new keyboard with sampling and a microphone."
Have you tried the micro sampler from Korg?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Mm.
but at this time I have no idea. And I said, that's weird. Maybe there is a reason. Maybe nobody has interest anymore in a keyboard with sampling. So okay. And I started doing some research, and I said, maybe we can build one. And that was the start. So we start thinking about it. But I have no competencies at all in electronic. I'm not an engineer in electronic, and I have no competencies at all in this domain. So I start watching a lot of video on YouTube on the industry, to understand what kind of people I need to start a scene company.
Mhm.
And I start stalking people on LinkedIn and checking, you're an engineer, you're friend with a lot of people in the industry, maybe you're the right guy. And this way, I found Fred from Fred's Lab. And at this time, he was working as a freelance. So I sent an email to him, say, hey, my name is Romain. I want to start a scene company. And maybe I'm interested in working with you. And he sent me an email kind of rude saying, I'm not interested in any project. I only run my own project. Okay. Maybe we can speak. I think we can speak. I could have some good arguments, and we start. We start with Fred. So at the beginning, we were only Fred and my brother. My brother is a developer and he works at Kiviak. And the designer, Emeric Alandry, is the designer, the industrial designer that works on the actual design of the machine. Because at the beginning, I started to do the design myself. It's not a good idea at all. I have no talent for drawing or something like this. So that's why I met Emeric and we start working on the design. I think we have spent multiple months on the design and maybe more than 150 versions. Because we were thinking what kind of feature we want to put in this, how we can organize the front panel. It was really, really huge work, more than I was thinking at the beginning. Then I try to think like, okay, it's cool. I'm nobody. Nobody is knowing me. Why people will buy my synth? Okay, because we have like a huge company like Korg, Roland, with a lot of money. Why people will? So we have to find something to make it sound different. So the first idea was, okay, what we are good at. Okay, I'm the owner of a cloud company. What we are good? We are good in IT and cloud. Maybe we can put some cloud in the machine. Okay, for what? Why you need cloud on machine? And we find a way to using cloud in the machine. And the way is very simple. Is okay. This machine have a microphone in it. You can record. You have a line in. You can record directly, because the goal at the beginning was to not using external sound banks but as the pioneer of the sampling, make your own sample, because now with Contact, you just have to click like this, and you have 1 million sample available like this, and it's great. It's very good quality. It's very great. Okay, but the goal was to make something lo-fi, to have some cloud features that you can share your sample with your friend or the community. I will explain that after that. But with the direct microphone, you can do your own sample very quickly. You just have to click on record like this or with your voice, and you can do this very quickly. But it's kind of poor. If you are doing this with the SK1, you can do this 30 years ago. So we'll have to find something more. And the something more was the texture. The texture is the granular part of the WoFi. So we put a granular FX. It's between a shimmer and a granular synth. It's between the both. And to be honest, as a musician, I was using a lot my SK1 in my modular, and with the clouds module from Mutable Instrument, and I was using it a lot. And okay, maybe I can put some granular and lo-fi in the same machine with cloud. Sounds good. And after that, I was thinking, okay, could we put something more? Oh yes, we can emulate the sound of good old sampler. So we put an emulation of old sampler. So you can emulate. We have modeled some machines, and you can emulate the sound of the SK1, the VSS30, all the Akai's on 12 bits, and all that good stuff. And we will add some more after that, like the Fairlight or stuff like that.
Okay, that's really ambitious. Cool. That's a cool story.
Will the emulator 2 be part of those emulations?
Maybe for now we have like 5 models, but it works like a bit crusher, you know, the emulator.
Okay. So it's more like an effect set behind the signal.
Yeah, you can load your sample and put it on top.
So the sampler itself isn't low quality by design. You can do, but you don't have to. Is that right?
True. That's true. By default, we sample at 16 bits and with normal quality, but you can put it low as you want, like 8-bit or maybe less.
Can you resample stuff?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, maybe we start with some more normal questions.
Yeah.
How many voices? And maybe we start with the price. This is normally something we don't do, but I think some people are really interested in this. So
okay. So I will start with the polyphony and the voices.
Yeah.
To be honest, at the moment, it's not totally fixed. Like on the product I have here, we can use 8 voices, but the goal is to go to 10 voices. And we are working on optimizing the code to make it 10 voices.
Will you have some effects or DSP stuff in it that may reduce the voices, or will it be more? Will you be more concentrated on polyphony and easy access?
Yeah, the goal is not to have a lot of feature in it. It's very simple. I think the main characteristic of the machine is the simplicity and the workflow. My first idea was, okay, when you're a musician, the inspiration is very you know, I don't know the word in English. I'm sorry about that. Like it comes and it comes on the other way. You know, if you spend like 10 minutes on finding how to sample, what button I'm supposed to press, your idea is gone forever. So the goal is to simplify and make sure you can convert your idea to something real quickly. So that's why we have like one envelope that you can assign on the filter, on the amp, or both. We have one LFO you can assign to any parameter you want, but only one at a time for now in this firmware. And you have one sample and only one sample. You cannot doing multi-sample, only one sample for the whole keyboard. And you have a filter. It's a digital filter. So you have the 12 dB per octave or the 24 dB per octave on the filter. We have the two modes.
So it's low pass or it's more?
It's low pass.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not multi.
It's really. It's in fact it is a classic sampler with a filter and like the emulator too, which is not much more than that.
It's a classic sampler with the design of a.
Except the multi-sampling, of course. Yeah.
to be honest, it's the workflow works like analog synth, like one button, one function. Very simple, like a monophonic analog synth, but it's based on sample and it's polyphonic.
So, when we look at it, there's a nice. There are pads. So it looks like there is a sequencer in it.
Yeah, there is a sequencer. It's a sequencer. It's a sequencer. So for now, in the first firmware, it's a step sequencer. For now, we have very basic feature, but we want to improve it with the new version of the firmware. For now, it's a 16-step sequencer, and you can play on top. I will do a demonstration after that.
Transpose the sequence.
You can transpose the sequence, but you have the choice. If you don't want to transpose the sequence, you have a solo button. You click on the solo, and you can add a melody on the sequence without transposing.
Will it be? Yeah, you already said it may. There may be more steps later, but can you switch to another pattern playing the same sample so you can change the melodies or?
For now, in this version, it's a prototype. Huh? It's not the series. The series will come in by the end of the year, and it's not really a prototype. It's like a pre-series. Okay, we have built 10 of it. Okay, for the Super Boost or all other events, we have 10 machines right now, and we are working on the firmware. We are
when you load,
we are still working on it.
When you load, you may have multiple samples in your memory, so you can switch between.
Yes. I will show you, and you can change the sample running the same sequence.
Yeah, maybe you should make this a little bit clear. This is not the final version now.
Oh, it's totally not the final version. We have a lot of work running on it. It's totally not the final version. It's really, to be honest, we have almost maybe 6 months of work.
It's the thing is wait a second. We came to you and said, "Hey, do you want to talk about this?" And you said, "It's not ready," but it's cool to see it now for this exclusive look when we meet at Super Booth, and maybe later if you release this stuff and we get it to test it. This is a complete different thing. But to see that someone cares about the simplicity and the easy to use functions. I own several samplers like an Archive Force, and you talked about this stuff, how complex and how difficult it can be to get something in or out in the machines. So maybe for everybody who's watching or who's listening right now, this is something to make really clear. That's a really cool idea to get a step back and then evolve later. I think.
And thank you. Thank you very much. But to be honest, you cannot compare this machine to a huge hardware sampler from 20 years ago. It's not the same thing at all. The machine you have to compare it with, it's more like the SK1 or something like this, but with more feature and a better sounding engine. And but the main characteristic of the machine is the simplicity. That's all. I have a lot of, to be honest, I have a lot of machine in my studio. I have maybe 100 or 200 plugins with synths. And I was dreaming about this kind of machine. I have built this machine for me. If I can provide some more for people, I will be more than happy, because it cost me a ton of money. But but the goal, it was my dream machine. But mine, maybe I'm the only guy on earth that dream about that, but maybe not. So let's doing it and see if it will interest something.
Is it the right time for listening to other people's wishes at the moment, or is it too early, or will you? Is it planned to listen to the users, the future users,
yes.
or will you follow a certain plan?
To be honest, if we have some people that can ask some question, I will be more than happy to answer. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
That's a good way to plug our after show party as a video chat after the show. So everyone who's our supporter of our show at Steady, you will find a link down in the description. Can talk directly to Romain.
And, you can say Romain, like an American guy, or Romain.
Yeah, I know. Roman.
German way. Yeah.
We joked about this before. So and yeah, that's the thing. So Mick, you wanted to say something?
No, I just switched on those names so everyone can see how Romain is spelled. But there's some interesting questions from the people which are quite into it. If you know, a sampler is defining itself or its sound by the way it transposes, like the EMU synth or samplers sounded differently from those from Ensoniq and stuff. Is there a special, or are there multiple pitching algorithms and granular?
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
we will have multiple algorithms. We will have the basic algorithms that we have made by ourselves, like the very lo-fi version, one note for every for all the one sample, all the keyboards, and very noisy and very 80s. Okay, but we have teamed with IRCAM to use their time stretching algorithm.
Cool.
At IRCAM, they have a library named Super VP, like the phase vocoder, and we have teamed with them to integrate this library in the WoFi. We are still working on it, but we will have multiple algorithms. So we will have one very noisy, very lo-fi, and one very interesting. The Super VP algorithm from IRCAM is very interesting because you can do time stretching, you can add some transient, you can do whatever you want. So it's very interesting. And we have we are very lucky in France because we have IRCAM, that is one of the main research center in the world. And to be honest, when I was a kid, I was fascinated by IRCAM. Like, what? There is some research about music and computer. I want to do this. but I was sucking at mathematics, so it was impossible. But to be honest, during the Corona thing, I sent an email at IRCAM. Okay, I'm running a company named Kiviak. We are working on this synth. Maybe we can speak, because they start a new company named IRCAM Amplify that brought some the technology from the research center to a private company. And I sent an email, and 2 weeks later, someone called me back, and I was very surprising. And the guy at this time was in his apartment in Paris, like everybody, because we were stuck at home in France at this time. And we were speaking, and the guy was wearing a T-shirt from a Norwegian band I love, is Ulver.
Oh,
And
Ulver.
I'm a huge fan of and we speak about that. And when you're a fan of the same music, it's more easy to speak about business after that. So, and we start working like this, and we have teamed with IRCAM like this, just because we are fan of the same band. So to answer your question, we will have 2 different algorithms, and we are still working on the integration of the Super VP library because it's a lot of work.
So you may be able to scan through the sample like on granular synth, or is it more for playing and changing the sound?
Yeah, it's kind of different. It's more like a shimmer. It's between the granular thing and a shimmer. So we had some harmonics.
Maybe you could demo something. So
we have something here in the audio library. So
yeah, maybe you can put the demo and
the Airy Roads.
Yeah. So it sounds like it.
Yeah. The second
like you can put the second one if you want.
Yeah.
Sort of gothic intro and a developing mid phase, but we hear there's a lot of glitchy things going on, and that's what you meant.
Yeah, because to be honest, I'm a huge fan of Nine Inch Nails. I'm a huge fan of Gary Numan. I'm a huge fan of Alessandro Cortini. All this kind of music, we very noisy, very glitchy. And we have a glitch button on the WoFi. I will demonstrate it. But the music I like is with a lot of distortion, but not only on guitar, but you can put distortion on keyboard, and maybe you can put distortion on a piano sound. If you filter it, it will be interesting.
We can do.
So that's why I've put all the things I love in this product. And to be honest, the texture is the granular part of the WoFi. We were surprised because it sounds really well. So I asked my team to develop the texture on the software version. We will have a plugin named Texturer that will be out just after the release of the WoFi. So you don't have to buy a WoFi to use the Texturer. You can load the plugin on your regular DAW and you will enjoy the Texturer. So for now, we will have like 3 products: the WoFi, the Texturer, and then the cloud platform for the WoFi. But I think I have something to explain about the cloud, because a lot of people are concerned by the cloud things, because as many connected objects, when you're using a connected object, when the platform is unplugged, you don't want to throw up your WoFi at the trash. That's why we have developed the whole thing with thinking about that. So you can keep your WoFi during the next 40 years. You don't have to use the cloud at all. You can load your sample using the cloud platform, but you can load your sample using the special cartridge, or you can load it using the USB and the MIDI over USB using SysX. You are totally free. You don't have to use the cloud. You could use the cloud. It will be amazing to use the cloud. I will explain why, but it's not mandatory. And if you are very concerned by your privacy, because it's a physical machine with Wi-Fi, so it's connected to the internet, and a microphone. A lot of people are concerned by the privacy. When you have a microphone connected to the internet, a lot of people are thinking, okay, maybe the government can spy me, blah, 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 blah. So I have no judgment. Everybody is free to think what he wants. So we put a Wi-Fi button on it. You just have to click on it and it stops the Wi-Fi. You have no more internet, no more cloud, and it's totally passive.
It's hardware-based, the switch. So I asked you this before in our talks before. So
it will shut down.
Cool thing. So it's really
shut down the chipset.
Yeah, it's physically completely disconnected. Yeah, cool. So for everybody's cup of tea is something on board. So maybe you can show the sequencer, because it's really cool. It looks pretty easy to operate.
You want me to make a demo? Okay.
If you like.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Maybe you can switch the camera.
Yeah, I switched the camera. Is it working? Is it not working?
It's not working.
See the GoPro logo.
It's not working at all. Like all the time.
It worked very well when we started, so it will.
It's not. This is today is a really funny day, technically.
Oh, it works.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Let me do some demo. So I will choose a sample. So we have preloaded some sample on the machine to make it more convenient for demonstration. Okay, so I have a sample named Kidnap Piano. Is it the volume okay for the keyboard?
Yeah, volume is okay.
Yeah, okay. It's okay.
There's a little lag between the sound and the video, but it's okay.
Okay, so that we have the sample running like this. I will start the sequencer. So I will program a sequence.
So, yeah. One kind of step sequencing.
I'm sorry?
This looks like it's more like a classic SH101 step sequencing input. You just play the note, see the step advancing.
Yeah, but you can also choose the step and put the note one by one. But
and it works with chords as well.
I'm sorry.
It works with chords as well. Chords.
No, only notes, not chords, not for the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Not on the V1 firmware, but maybe one day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I will continue. So I start the sequence. I put a little texture on it. Now I click on solo. If I'm not in solo, I transpose the sequence. Okay, regular transpose. But if I put the solo mode, I can. So you can play on it. But now,
it's okay. It's okay. It reminded me a bit of Pipeline from Depeche Mode, which is a simple melody and this kind of lo-fi.
And the melody of Closer on top.
This one.
Okay, now we got some legal issues with copyright.
Okay, so I put the sequence again, and we have two kinds of sequence: the sequence of notes and the sequence of parameter. So now I change the mode from note to parameter, and I can do some kind of automation. So I have automated the cutoff of the filter. But it works with any parameter. I can do the same with the envelope if I want. So I have automated the envelope. Make sense for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Please keep in mind, everybody who's watching or listening, we don't have the best audio here on the live stream. So please keep in mind, this is just a rough impression of what it can do, especially for this crystal sound that falls a little bit apart in the stream.
You want
as
me
always.
to doing something more nervous, something more rock and roll?
Why not? We are nervous as always.
Okay, let's do this.
It's a good genre, nervous music.
Yeah. So let's do this. Okay, so I clear the sequence.
Yeah. Is the sequencer clockable via MIDI?
MIDI, and you have a sync input, analog sync input, and we have
cool.
MIDI over USB, CV gate, and sync in and out.
Good.
Cool. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so I program a sequence. Okay. And now I can add some glitch. So
Is it possible to automate these movements?
yes, you can
To record
automate the movement
Yeah.
with the param sequencer. You have 16 steps with automation, and each
So-
step you can automate one different parameter. So step 1 cut off, step 2 attack,
okay.
step 3 cut off again, and it works like this.
So
This is cool.
it's a mixture of sort of parameter locking and recording directly, recording a
Correct.
not movement.
Yeah, I think you can do pretty, really glitchy stuff with it.
Yes.
Do you can you explain how the sampling behavior works and all the file handling at the moment?
I can show you something. I can show you how I can sample my voice and making one patch with my voice. So I can doing demonstration like this. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Why not?
So I have to put in rec mode. Oh. So you can do some pads only with your voice. And if I change the machine model and I can put an AKI model, it will sound more noisy. I can change the pitch. Or I can change the stretch. Or I can add some glitch. So that's the way I use it.
Yeah, so it has live processing. You can just have to turn a knob, and then it works. So it's hands-on. That's what
Yeah.
we would like to show, because it's easier to just show it like you did. So it's better.
What do you want to see?
Yeah, I don't know what how large is your memory and stuff like that. So let's talk basic.
Okay, so the memory, because you are sampling very short sample, you can have like 100 slots of memory with presets. Okay, but when you had some cartridge, you can have more, and with the cloud, it's streamed almost live. Like when you are using the Wi-Fi, you have like 100 on the machine, but if you load one from the cloud, it will erase the previous one, and it's like sliding. So you have unlimited memory with the cloud. But when you're unconnected, like 100 or something, not 100 megs, 100 patches. But to be honest, it's not made to have long sample. It's made to have short sample and treat them with the texturer and all the processing. It's not made to have a loop of 1 minute. It's not made for stuff like that. It's more
Is
like
there a,
one note and very lofi.
Is there a stereo sampling, or is this just mono?
You have a stereo input, and if you are sampling in stereo, you split the voice by 2.
Ah, okay. It's fair enough. If this is the way to go, why not?
It's old school. It's a really old school machine, but with a modern way. I know there is a lot of limit in the machine, but it's not because of a technical issue. It's a choice. Because when you have a lot of limit, you have a lot of more inspiration. That's my way of making some music. I have made better music when I'm alone with a little MIDI keyboard and only one plugin at the other side of Earth. Because if I'm in my studio, I have multiple choice. I can spend 3 hours to choose the right sound for my snare, but at the end, the track sucks with a good snare, but the track sucks. And I think I'm not the only guy in this case. So I think when you have like some constraint, you are more focused on the music. And I think sometimes it's good to have some constraint. That's why I have made radical choice on the wofi. It's not because of the technical issue or something, because now you can have all the power you want with this. It's more powerful than the most powerful computer in the last 30 years. So there is no issue.
This is not a problem, yeah. Do you have crossfade on the loops? Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm in the band house and some drama is starting to play here. Oh shit!
So we have it. It's the first time we have this. Yeah. Just go on. Just don't care.
Is there a cross fade for sampling?
Yes, and you can edit your sample on the screen, and we have a touch stripe just here, and
Yeah.
oh yes, it's on my site.
I swear this day is completely.
It's crazy. It's a crazy life tonight. So yes, we have a touch stripe, and we can edit the sample on the screen. So you can choose the beginning, the end. You will have like a kind of audio editor, very simple, but a kind of audio editor and crossfade for sure. Yeah.
So you can move the loop position or something.
Yes.
Around and stuff like that.
It's not implemented right now. That's why we have a lot of work to do, but it will be okay when the machine will be ready to enhance sales. And I have something to show. It's the cartridge of the wofi. So a lot of people ask me, why are you making some proprietary cartridge? Okay, I know it's weird, but it was just because it's cool. And I'm a huge fan of retro gaming. And I was thinking this subject was really... there is a lot of nostalgia with cartridge. And that's why I want one on my machine. Because, as you know, I'm a big fan of vintage synthesizer. And I have a lot of cartridge for my DX7, for example. I have the whole collection of CZX event on a file, but I have some cartridge because it's fun. Maybe in the near future, we will provide some kind of adapter, like for SD card or something, because a lot of people are asking about that.
You don't have an SD slot, but a slot for this special cartridge.
Yeah, but the slot we have in the machine is directly connected on the bus on the machine that speak with the CPU and the RAM, so we can prepare.
It's fast.
a lot of different device that we can plug on it. That's why.
There's a lot of questions about how to organize the sounds. Are they the samples saved with the parameters and vice versa?
Okay, I have to explain. So sounds, the patches are with one sample and all the parameters stored in the patch. A patch is the sample and all the parameters. But in a patch, you can change the sample and keep the same parameter and then save it as a new patch or on the same slot. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So you, it is sometimes you can, you can have the player exchanged or the sample exchanged.
No, you can change it. You can change everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that will answer the question. No loading from the cloud. Yes, of course. That's
Yes.
If we understand right, you can stream from the cloud.
Yes, you can stream like when you are browsing on the machine. You have the list of your patches you're browsing, and it preload the sample when you're browsing. So when you click, it's almost loaded.
Cool. So you can also preview or listen to
yes.
samples. Yeah.
And I have to explain something about the cloud. The cloud platform named my WoFi, mywo.fi. You can access the platform using the machine directly. So you have made a patch like this. You click on save. There is a save button on it. You have a pop-up on the screen, and you choose if you want to share with the whole community, with only a group of friends, or only one user. Like on Facebook, when you click on share,
you can have a band, and only the band shares the same sounds.
Sure.
So they all have a WoFi and playing on stage with it with the same sounds.
Yes. And the other goal is to store your own sample in the cloud, like iCloud. Like if you are on tour, okay, you have an accident, your WoFi is broken. You go to the first shop, you get a new WoFi, you log in with your identity online, and it streams your samples back.
Okay.
Like an iPhone.
But sometimes the clubs don't have Wi-Fi, so maybe it's better
Then you go outside and use your fucking phone.
But you don't need another device. It's just the machine itself that accesses the Wi-Fi. So as long as it receives, it works. But you may, if maybe you're at the place where mostly in the basement or something, then you could put a router to it.
Yes, sure.
And then you have
it works like any Wi-Fi device, like a laptop or anything. So it can authorize on any Wi-Fi. The only thing is when you are using a captive portal, it will not work because you need a browser to authenticate. You know, like when you are at Starbucks or McDonald's or something, you have to go through a captive portal. It will not work because it's impossible. But it's not working on any portable device with Wi-Fi. If you don't have a browser, you cannot using the captive portal. But you can use your phone with sharing your connection, and you can connect through.
Yeah, still, of course. Yeah.
You share your connection from your phone, connect on Wi-Fi. That's all, and you can connect. And
do you have some app that will upload some samples to the WoFi when there's the real connection is absent?
Let me explain.
Yeah.
At the launch, we will not have the phone app available, but then we will have an app on the phone or iPad or anything you want to load your sample, and then we have the idea to propose a plugin in your DAW. So you will load it on a software instrument thing, and you can load the sample on the plugin, but it will load the sample on the physical machine. So you can work on your DAW, and it will pilot the physical machine. So you can interact on it on the physical machine, and you can use it in your DAW. And when you load back your project, it will load back your sample in the machine.
There's still
Here are some yes, there
I
are some
think that-
questions here.
Yes,
Is
there is
there
some
local memory on
Yes,
on
for
the
sure.
yeah?
Of course.
How big is it, and how many
100 slots for patches.
is there a actual size of memory
It's
that you can say?
No, we cannot say the size of the memory for one reason, because it's changing right now. It was smaller, and we have changed our math, so it's bigger than previously. But it's not huge. It's something in megabytes, not terabytes of storage, because we don't need it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because they were a bit confused about. Normally, when you're talking about clouds, people think the memory may be lost, but it's not. That's just to answer this question. You still always have your 100 samples when you are completely off on an island
yes.
or something. So
actually, the Wi-Fi is not working at all on this machine. And I have multiple sample load on it, and I can shut down the button and put the machine on after that, and I will still have my sample loaded.
So if you want to expand the 100 slots, you can get the cartridge or
You can
something.
get the cartridge or use the cloud.
Okay.
And you can use SysEx if you want to unload your own files from the machine. You can use SysEx, and we will provide, not for the launch, but a few months after, an app, and we can do some drag and drop on the machine. We are very concerned about that because a lot of people, I don't know why, but I have the same thing on my IT company. A lot of people are concerned by the cloud, but to be honest, the whole world is working on the cloud right now. The bank, the government, everything is in the cloud. So I think your data is more safe in the cloud than in your house. But if you are thinking you are better than Microsoft on AWS, you can do it by yourself and download your data on your computer. This is your data, your machine, and you have the choice.
So if you like to do it the old school way, or if you want to do it in the other new school way, it's for everybody. There is a way to go. You don't have to use SysEx. You can store your patches on the cartridges, and then you can use all the other things. Okay, I think fair enough about this topic. We're done, but can you talk a little bit about the glitch and other effects on the WoFi?
Okay, so you have one main module named texture, is the granular things. So it works like shimmer. It adds some harmonics, and you have 4 buttons on the texture. You have 4 parameters. The first one is chaos. So the first one, top on left, is chaos. Chaos change the way the grains are re-injected in the signal. So when it's 0, the grains are re-injected first in, first out. And when you're adding more chaos, you're adding more randomness. The second one is the density. So you can choose the density of the grains. More grains, less grains. The third one is the size of the grain. And the last one is the depth. So
is there for the grains, is there a envelope type, so you can choose that the grains are more soft or more harsh, or is this just one?
Directly with the 4 buttons, you cannot doing this. But on the plugin version, and we will add this feature on the screen, you can choose the harmonic you want to amplify. So when you have the plugin version, maybe I can show you. Let me check if I can show you the plugin version. It will be more convenient to explain because I cannot show it on the screen of the machine. There is a way to share the screen.
Yeah, there's one thing called present. You just click on present and then select your tab in your browser. Then
Okay, so
show this
present.
tab only,
Okay,
or
okay,
you
share
can show
screen.
a full
Okay.
screen as well.
I cannot do this. He asked for security stuff. I think it will not work.
Okay. Yeah, you should have
Let me check.
before.
No, it's impossible. I have to quit. Okay, no problem. Forget about this. So we on the I think I have sent an image maybe of the texture. Maybe you can share it because we have like
Maybe it's one of those.
no. I have sent a lot of.
I got it. Let me upload it.
Okay.
Upload this for a second.
Takes a little time, but meanwhile, they they are so they're sort of interested. There's one thing that is really important: is what will it cost? Do you know it? What
The price of the machine?
Yeah,
Somewhere between 600 and 800.
Okay. So it's, of course, it's not fixed to exactly that, but maybe in the range.
To be honest, the price is not decided right now because the processing price is not known. We have a lot of fluctuating price with the components, and from the beginning of the project in 2020 until now, it changed. Some components multiples by 3 or 4, so it's changing. I hope it will be the more attractive as possible, but somewhere between 600 and 800. Oh, that's
so there it is.
Okay, so this is the plugin, the texture plugin. So you still have the chaos, density, sides, and but we have more parameters. You have the harmonics gain, so you can choose what harmonics you want to amplify more, and you have a random button on the right of the harmonics gain. So you can use randomness to choose the harmonics for instead of you. You can choose the speed of the grains, and you can choose the pitch. And the pitch you can commute from semitones to frequency, and you can also choose the width. And the width change the stereo image. Homage gain are distributed between the left and the right. So we will provide the same parameter on the screen of the WoFi, but it will not be accessible by a direct button because it's more like deep diving in the process. And we have a limited space, so we cannot put button for everything. Make sense for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry again for the drumming.
No problem.
Yeah, so we have to ask, as we have to ask any developer if there will be a drum machine.
Exactly. That's our funny question for the day.
Now, to be honest, the ergonomical stuff and work on this machine, it's very hard to decide what is the most important parameter you have to put a button on it or not. And we have decided this like 2 years ago, and now I'm thinking, maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I forgot this one, or maybe this one is not so important. But we have to make a decision, and we have to stop to work on it at the time, because if not, the machine will launch in 10 years.
On some synth, especially like the Roland SP404 Mark II, there is a lot of combinations.
And we have a lot too. Like if you click, we have a shift button here. It's made for this. When you click shift and another one, you can have some combination. And to be honest, we have undocumented combinations.
Okay, so there's
Like
an Easter egg.
even myself, I discover some stuff sometimes, and I call the and because we have not speaking about that, but we start the process with Fred from Fred's lab, but now we have our own team at Kiviak. So I have 2 developers working on it. I have Olivier, I have Adrian too, and I have a new guy starting tomorrow for another topic. Maybe I will explain later. But sometimes I call Olivier and say, I click on this and he's doing this. Is it normal? Oh, yes, it's a new feature in the new firmware. That's totally normal. I'm working on it. Ah, okay. Like since the last week, when I click on the glitch or I click on the stretch on the pitch button, it resets the value to the init value. And it's cool. It was not my idea, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it's some sort of like a manual button. When you press manual, everything is set like the knobs are at now, or the faders.
Yeah, all the button are. There is no I don't know the word in English, but you can. It's infinite. You can. You can.
Endless.
Yeah, endless. But only the faders for the envelope. But when the physical position is not matching the logical position, you move the fader until it match with the right position and it change. So and you have the envelope on the screen. You have the envelope on the screen, so it's visual.
But yeah, okay. It sounded like there is a relative and an absolute mode, or is it?
There is a yes, kind of. It's not a studio console, but yes, there is a relative and absolute mode.
One thing for the nerds is what's inside. Is there an ARM chip, or what's the main processing?
I will ask you a question, but there is something very important I have forgot to say. It works on battery.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of the show.
This is cool.
It works on the battery.
Yeah. And it has speakers on it, right?
There is a speakers on it and a microphone on it, and it works on battery. And to be honest, on Sunday, I was making some music using the WoFi in my bed. I was using it with my headphones in my bed, and you can put it on your knees, and it's very a good way to make some music.
It doesn't looks so heavy. It looks more lightweight.
Heavy. It's not heavy at all. It's made of aluminium, and it's not heavy at all. I think I don't know exactly because we have not tested it, but it's very very okay to transport. It's not like the last MacBook Air or the OP1. If you want to speak about one other good product from Teenage Engineering, but you can put it in your backpack and go somewhere in the forest making some music without any issue.
Hopefully we have the opportunity to test this out on the Super Booth, and maybe it looks a little bit toyish, but if you say the body is from aluminium, and I don't know about the knobs.
The body is in aluminium. The knobs, to be honest, the knobs right now, the one you have seen on pictures were posted by Knarf. No, not this one. This one, not this. This one was the first. I don't know the word in English. It was a model. It's not a real one. This one. It's a physical one, but it's not a real one on this picture. But the one we got now is the real one. But the button here are not the last one, because we are waiting about the mold. We have to mold the plastic buttons. So this one are 3D printed. That's why it looks more toyish. But in real, to be honest, it doesn't look toyish at all. On the pictures, everywhere on the internet, it looks toyish because it was not the right button and not the good color. But it was not intentional. When Knarf has come to our office. It was to discuss, and he asked me, "Can I take some picture and put it on Instagram?" I say, "Yeah, why not?" And instantly, we have like 25 articles all over the internet, synth anatomy, everybody, and with the same pictures that are not the
Yeah,
official
we talk a lot
And he's
about
here.
this with Tom, and he's even there in the chat. So every time we discover
Yes,
something
this is Tom.
new, it spreads on every page. That's what I told you.
We were not ready at this time, to be honest, and we are not very usual with this kind of launch because it's the first time we launch a product.
Sorry.
No, not sorry. Not sorry. It's okay. And to be honest, it's a new exercise for us, and it's really cool to have some users and some maybe future users that can interact with us and give you some advice. So it's not a problem at all. I have no problem with this. This machine is in development, and we will show some pre-series at the Super Booth. So it will not be the definitive, the final machine, but I have no problem with this. It's in development, but when we will sell it, it will be done.
Good to hear.
That's Tom again.
Yeah, we talked about this topic. So you're laying a big sum on quality. You said that's a really good thing.
And normally the problem is like on the SK1 or something like that. That of course feels like plastic because it's plastic, and this time it's aluminum, and it will look different and feel different when it's ready. So,
Yes.
but
now, to be honest, it's not. It will not look toyish at all in real, really, and it's aluminium. It's wood. The buttons are very strong, and we have made. To be honest, we worked with a provider for the potentiometer, and we have asked them to put some special grease in it to make sure we have the right torque, because it was too
loose. I know what you mean.
Yeah. You know,
there are some really good potentiometers, but they are sometimes too loose. I know. Yeah,
so
exactly.
we are still working with them to choose the right grease to have the good torque on the potentiometer. And we have made, the toggle switch we have here. The torque was not okay for the first version. So we have asked them to make special model for us. And we have developed some special tools at the factory to make special toggle switch to have the right torque.
Okay, now we are
so I'm very
interested.
About that.
We will see. It's interesting. Yeah, that maybe explains the price, because some may think it's a little bit pricey. Here you have it. It's a really small new company. It's with quality in mind, and oh god, I hate this drummer.
It's very easy to explain. We have worked all 3 years on this product, almost 3 years, with like, maybe we can consider it will be like a 3 year works for 2 people full time. It was not organized like this, but it's the same thing. The manufacturing costs are kind of high for us because we will produce a few units. Like, the goal for us is to make some pre-sales in September, October, something like that, to launch the pre-sale. Maybe we'll do some pre-sales. Maybe we'll do a Kickstarter, but the goal is not to have some kind of money to launch the production. We can do this right now. My goal is my concern is to make sure how many units I will produce. Because if I have 20 pre-orders, I will not produce 1,000 machine. Makes sense?
Yeah.
I know what you mean, and this is a big topic, even for established companies to get funding for all the production.
And the price depends of how many units you're producing. The price I told you is for 1,000 machine a year during 3 years. Okay, nobody is speaking about the number of units they are selling in this industry, but you will have to have one numbers in mind. The world record in the history, it's 250,000. It's the DX7 and the Korg M1, and it was 30 years ago when you will have only one or two products on the market. So nobody is speaking about that because it's kind of top secret in this industry. But I don't care because I'm new in this industry and I have no problem to speak about that. There is nothing to hide, and there is no problem to say, okay, I will sell maybe 500, maybe 1,000. Who knows? And maybe zero. But the price is explained by the number of units you have put on the market and the quality of components you are using. So to ask your question, inside there is 3 MCUs. We have a STM32. We have an ESP32 for the Wi-Fi, and we have another ST product just to just use for the keyboards.
And I've heard there's a library for those you can use, or everyone can use, who's using this basic engine. So everything else has to be developed by yourself or by
everything.
You. And
every each line of code in the WoFi is developed by us, and
okay.
everything is at the lowest level of the hardware because you have to optimize everything. Let me explain.
An assembler or C+ or something?
C++ and sometimes, and if needed, assembler. But for the most part, it's on C++.
Yeah,
but let me explain something.
That's for the nerds. We have nerds.
No problem. I can explain. I have nothing to hide. I can explain.
It's nerdy walking here.
It's an ARM platform, STM32. It's like the problem is if you want more power in a machine, you will have some more power consumption and more price. And the more complex the CPU, MCU is, the more work you will have to develop on it. So you have to choose a platform that is easy to program, with a lot of power, not too pricey, and because we are using it on a battery, not too much power consumption. So it's kind of difficult equation. So I don't think it's really pricey. To be honest, there is some product on the market that are not sold at the good price. I don't want to.
This topic is difficult because sometimes there are a lot of cost savings with quality in mind. So sometimes
not only the quality.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it's part of the strategy. If you have 10 products on the catalog, you can sell one at 300 euros and not making any money. But you are working for the brand. The WoFi is our first product. We cannot do this right now. Maybe in 10 years, when we have 50 products in the catalog, it will be okay to do this. When you're a huge brand, you can launch a product at 500 euros with a lot of features, even if you are not making any money on it, because you have the other one, the big brother, at 3,000 that you can promote with the other one.
And you have all the developing from the bigger ones, dribbling down to the
and if
smaller
you are
ones.
in this industry for the last 30 years, you can use the same code. When you're a very famous Japanese company with a wavetable synth, kind of wavetable synth, and you launch the same product 25 years or 30 product after that with some kind of improvement. It's a good product, the product we speak about. You have a development cost that is very, very low. But when you are Yamaha in the 80s and you want to develop the DX7, you spend a tons of money on research and development because everything is new. Everything. The hardware, the software, the way you synthesize the sound, everything is new. I don't know the cost of the research and development on the DX7, but at this time, I think it was huge. But it's okay because the company is huge. They are making a lot of musical instrument, a lot of stuff, and with big money.
And
so,
they bought it from Chowning.
Yes.
Chowning. So they had to.
But that's the same thing. Even if you bought it, there is a price. So the problem is the development cost.
It's
of the
okay.
machine. No, but the development cost of the machine on the first product will never be adapted. Because if I integrate the development cost of the machine, it's impossible to sell. Make sense?
We talk, yeah, absolutely. We talk a lot with developers, and they even talk the same things like you. So we know this really well, and our audience, I think, now should understand some things a little bit better than some others because we do this regularly. And yeah, that's cool. And you said it, you built this for your own mainly. So there's a cost, there's a hard way, you sweat tears, blood, and
I have to be honest with you. I'm not running this new activity for money. Sure, I want to make some money to reinvest and doing some new products, but I don't need this to make money. I have another activity in my life, and the goal for me is to have some pleasure and taking some good times because it's my passion. And the other, I can explain it to you. I need this in my life to make it better. That makes sense. I'm living for music, and since the last 20 years, I was not working in the music industry at all. So I was missing something in my life. That's all. And to be honest, I have invested a lot of money in this. But even if I lose it, and I will have no regret because that's the way I want to live. And if you have some regret, there is no interest in life.
Okay. Hey, maybe we have luck. It's around 10 p.m. and the guy over there has to shut up.
Worst I've ever heard. We have ever listened to at the moment. But we have to tell everyone where we get paid or not, or supported. And there's one link here below. This leads you to Steady, and Steady is our platform. You can throw some money in. It's not much, €2 to 50 at the minimum, and then you can share with us the talk after we quit here, so we can speak privately a bit, and you get rid of all these annoying things. But you can you have more videos and stuff. We must confess it's mostly in German, but the developers talks are mostly in English, as you know. This is our concept of financing ourselves. So if you are interested, just get to this page, and you will
the tiers. So you have a free 6, 12, 20 and 35 euro tiers, and if you do it once a year, you can do it with a little bit less. So everybody, thank you who's supporting us, and
you can still do it if you are German, because you will have more benefit of it.
There is a payment with Apple Pay, with PayPal, with normal bank Überweisung. Ich komme nicht drauf. And there's even a new sample pack coming up because Blush Response did a sample pack for us and for his own Patreons. So this will come up this week. And if you like, there is something new in our raffle. You can now access every winning part, every thing that's in the raffle. So if you want to win, please go on the website. It's linked down in the description, and nobody sees it. Okay, wait for a second. So here we go. This is on the 4 Jahre SequencerTalk blog post, and you can see now every prize, and you can win it now. It goes to the 21st March, and we announce all the winnings on the 28th of March. Yeah, and there's winnings like prizes like Arturia Sound Explorers Collection. This is the big collection of plugins, synthesizers, and effects, and then a keyboard stand. iKey Multimedia sponsored us. Total Studio, that's another big synth plugin collection. 3 times the Cult from Dawson, it's another plugin. And you can win a Mini Fuse 2 from Arturia, from Fred's Lab, your friend. The kit Exploding Shed, you can win LED patch cables. They glow up. They look like this, and you can see the polarity on it. So they blink or glow in the modulation, and you see the polarity. And then there is the new microphonic playground. I have it here on my table, and I screwed some things on it with the new packs you can buy, or you get something with it. So I have a snare thingy here and an egg cutter, so you can sample things in your woofy. And then there is even more. So Neutral Labs sponsored 2 modules, the Pip and the Niger. This is a filter and a distortion unit. And XOR Electronics sponsored us the great Nerd sequencer and 3 times the free stylo module. So feel free, it doesn't cost you anything, just write an email and you will see how it works. If you want to win the Black Panther keyboard stand, go on the site and write us an email with, in the caption, Gewinn 02, or if you want to win the playground, you can type in the caption Gewinn Playground or something like this. You will see it here on the blog post. Okay, that's enough. And hopefully we see everybody in the chat after the show. So this is every time a great fun experience. And it usually goes for hours and hours. to say? Hours in? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
now we have. That's an insider. Okay,
It's an electric trick.
you play live now.
And
This weekend or?
on the 25th of
Hmm.
March in Düsseldorf, where Kraftwerk is located at. But you don't have to travel there if you are from the US. But you are allowed to, because it's free, and you can spend some money for us to keep it running like this. And yeah, if you're interested in something, just click on the English playlist. And if you're not English, you can watch everything you want. There's a lot of tutorials and things.
Talks. Yeah,
About synth
we even did a
in
new talk on Sunday with Blush Response. So if you like, you can look up on our YouTube page, and you will find under live all the talks. Here's the WoFI talk and the Fred's lab, and we did a talk with Paul and with Verstärker, with Rolf from
Waldorf.
and so on and so on. A lot of stuff. So everybody is welcome here. Leave some comments and then abo, and yay! And there's even some things.
So
say.
a few.
I think there is one more thing we forgot to say, because I discovered the comments on the chat, because I was not on the right window and I was not seeing any comments during the live. So there is one thing I want to add. The cloud will be totally free. There is no subscription for the cloud.
Okay.
The community version is totally free.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we will add some paying content, but the model is not based on subscription and on paying content. Just to be clear.
Good to hear.
So, is there anything you want to show us again, or better?
Maybe a nice gem or something.
Yeah. If you like.
Yes. Maybe we can
switch the cam.
Yes.
And we give you the stereo. So if you head in the
yes, it's done.
So.
Okay. Maybe we can demonstrate some other stuff like this. Maybe you can demonstrate some sequencer too. Excuse me, I forgot something. Like this, like I have chosen a sample with a piano sound. I have added some glitch. It's filtered. and I can add some texture. You can do a really good ambient with this machine. And you can do multiple stuff like this.
Thank you for a spontaneous combustion, because mostly it's the best thing just to do something, and it brought you a lot of hearts and likes, which is a good thing normally, and you may sell 100 more units next time. I hope so. Yeah, thank you for being here. You have shared a lot of time with us, and thank you for your insights and everything. And be invited when it's near release. Maybe come back and then.
Can you please stop the stereo?
Of course. Now we can talk. When you said things to stereo, it means we have a lot of feedback loops that are not so cool and not any kind of near your machine. But this now we can talk and say goodbye.
And if you have questions, you can feel free and write it down in the comments so we can answer you. And I think Romain is really looks for it for himself.
Yes.
A big thank you to you for your time and for the first real look on this machine. It was really wonderful, and for my taste, it tickles my ears. It's good. I really have fun to hear this.
Somebody wrote down here, it has character, and that's it.
That's exactly. It can be nasty, and it can be really
soft,
nice. Yes. This
Thank
is
you.
a really good thing.
Thank you, guys. See you on the other side.
We see you on Super Booth. So everybody can feel free and visit you at a Superbude.
Yes.
Genau.
Sure. Is there anything you want to add as a last word? Maybe?
No, I think we have speak in a very nice way, and it was very interesting for me. So goodbye, everybody, and see you later.
Thank you.
And thank you for the chat, and thank you on our supporters. That's a really big thing. So you're great. Thank you, Mick.